get to the airport. Some of them are being shot. There are graphic pictures of people on the streets that have been killed by the Taliban on their arrival.
Okay,
But
Nat, let's bring it home
yeah,
to Nigeria. As soon as the Taliban took over Afghanistan, especially when they got to Kabul, there was a message that went viral in Nigeria saying that we should take note that it was the ideology of the Taliban that made the soldiers to just surrender, not because the Taliban were very strong. And that the way it is right now, the Nigerian army is made up of people who are sentimentally attached to the Boko Haram, and they believe in the ideology of Boko Haram, no Western education. They also believe in the way they want to run the country in as an Islamic state. Given that situation, many, according to that message, is that Nigeria is going to be in a situation where many of the governors will just give up and say, come and take over. How far do you see this kind of analysis replicating itself in Nigeria? Not.
okay, thank you. Let's do a brief analysis of how the Taliban easily took over Afghanistan.
Okay.
The U.S. government pumped in almost $1 trillion in way of trying to train Afghan soldiers, in way of trying to establish democracy. But
And they were
what
not
really
effective.
happened? No, what this might be a personal view, but I've seen some people near that view. It looks like there was a conspiracy between the Afghan government and the Taliban. You see, because by the timeline or timetable, the Taliban themselves said they didn't know they can get into just throw into Kabul. They didn't know it was going to be very easy, and the government of Ali Ghani, or the last prime minister
The last
of
leader, yes.
the man just took flight. I think almost 10 days before.
Giving one flimsy excuse that I don't want the flow of blood in Kabul. That was his flimsy excuse.
Yeah. And then the soldiers didn't just melted. They just disappeared. But the thing is that what they were doing, the American dollar that was being pumped into Afghanistan was being looted, and the government and other people buying properties in Dubai. And so the soldiers were not trained, and then we have the figure that was given as the number of Afghan soldiers is far less.
Let me pause you there. Let me give you a pause there. I quickly want to ask Mark in Milan, having listened to Ambassador Nat, will you now say that Nigeria should behave like Uganda, that has absorbed a few thousands of Talibans into their community? Should Nigeria now take some of these people who are wandering from Afghanistan as refugees in Nigeria? Yes. Will they not with Boko Haram and swap and give Nigeria more problems?
Yes. You said that backstage before now. That would be a disaster if we look at it critically. Minding the fact that we are still also going through our own situation in Nigeria. Economically, we are not faring too well. Countless of the ordinary citizens are not well taken care of. So adding to that will worsen things. Also, having it also in mind that we have in our northern region a similar kind of organization. There could be an instant relationship with that that side, and it could spiral into something bigger. So Nigeria should not, in this sense, go into any refugee plan for any of those the Afghans.
Especially as we have a lot of refugees, and we also have a high rate of unemployment,
yes,
low housing, and all the rest. So we're not in a financial position to add
to
more
do that.
burdens, isn't it?
Yes, and take note that we are also housing the Ambazonians of Cameroon. We are housing, I think, about 2-3 more refugee people
Camps.
in our country camp. So, and still in those camps, it's still not up to the standard of how the living conditions should be. So we don't have that plans arrangement yet. It will be wise we just stick on our own. Added to what Ambassador Nat was saying, I wanted to say also that the Prime Minister of Afghan, the president, ran away with $169 million. 169. Yes, that's the news yesterday. So
why are the underdeveloped countries always steal government money? Why did the underdeveloped government always steal money? Why is that in their psyche?
Because the man is running to go and start his life, he has to survive. And he knows this is the end of his country. His country is in another hand now.
So $169 million belonging to Afghans, let's go and spend it.
And four luxurious cars. 4.
Oh, okay. Let me give Nat the final say on Afghan issue before we go to other things. Nat, what's your final say on Afghan issues?
Yeah, my final say in Afghan issue is that no developing country or any other country should think America or UK will come and develop their country for them. No way. What Joe Biden is saying now is that the Afghanistan, that is their problem, that is their challenge. Let them sort it out. They don't want any but American body bag going back to America again.
Okay. On another
and just to add again, we have this. I don't know whether to call it phobia or an appetite for Nigerians to run to U.S. embassy and the UK embassy to tell them they should come and help us. When PDP was in government, APC, any small thing, they will run to these embassies of the Western world. Now that's what PDP is doing. Even the chairman, Secondo, had to go to a U.S. embassy or British embassy in Abuja to lodge complaints. Find these are your challenges. If you don't fight them, nobody's coming to fight for you.
Yeah, Nat, please, I still need to ask one more question.
Yes.
Some people have argued that there are two major things that the 20 years of Occupy Afghanistan has done. One, that the place will no longer be used to breed international terrorism like we saw before 9/11. That is a major achievement. And Donald Trump actually asked those Taliban, will they ever do it? And they said no. Secondly, we have seen that some women came out to say that the present Taliban leaders will not stop girls from going to school, will not stop them from being nurses, teachers, doctors, especially judges, because the issue is that Afghanistan has about 208 female judges right now, something they will never dare 20 years ago. The culture there is that men cannot bow to the decision of a woman, even if she's a learned judge. Do you think these two things they make up for the 20 years of occupation and $2 trillion that were spent there? And are they sustainable the next 5 years?
No, I want to assure you that the Taliban people gave their first press conference yesterday or so. And what they are just trying to do is more of a PR job. they want to create a picture, and they have said it that this Taliban you see now is not the Taliban of 20 years ago, that they have changed, and the world should judge them by their action. But I can bet you that Taliban has not changed. They're just buying time, wooing the West, and once they are firmly grounded in Afghanistan, you'll be ready to see terrible and worse things.
So what do they have against the girl child? Why should the girl child not go to school? Why should she not aspire to be a lawyer or a judge? What is the problem there? Do we know?
Even in Afghanistan, there are the normal Islamic way of life is there. The Taliban way of doing things is there. And they want to enforce what the Taliban way of doing things is. And they were saying that the female or the women and the girls can operate within the ambit of Islamic law. And we all know what Islamic law is all about.
Yeah.
Okay. I know the Sharia law is something else. And I know that there are two levels of Sharia laws. Let me ask Mark quickly. What's the problem? Why should anybody hate the girl from becoming a judge, especially? I mean, a girl should not be nurse in the Taliban. Afghanistan should not be doctor. Should not. What is? Do you have an inkling of
why?
It
is, Dr. Shago, it's an old tradition from the history of time. For those Bible scholars, we all know, apart from the Sharia book, also the Quran, also biblically, from the time of mankind, the female gender has always been sidelined. If you notice the Bible, when they are doing counting or when they are making reference to a number of people, it exempts the women. The children of Jacob obviously had women, Jacob gender, for example, but they talk of the 12 sons of Jacob. And when you read the Bible, you read the Quran, it's always like that. The women are not counted, it's by the side. So it is taken that a woman should be silent, like they say. A woman should not be visible. She should be at the background. So the Asian country and most Islamic country has taken that also, added to the Sharia law. The women gender should be silent, should not speak in the house. She should be the invisible partner, and it has just been so. So we have that going on, and they go beyond. The woman should not be educated. The female gender should not have anything to do with politics. Should not even have.
Let me ask you one quick question.
Yes,
why is the Nigerian state of Kano saying that they're going to ban women from driving, even if you are a Southerner living in Kano? How will you react to that?
That's still the same thing. Not just banning women from driving, but also they say they stop everything. Mannequin, this statue people use to advertise clothes sales. So they mold a sculpture that looks like a woman and put that dress on that sculpture. Now the Kano government and some of the northern government are banning that. Imagine banning a statue because it looks feminine and sexy. You can imagine that, and they said they want to stop that. Anywhere they see such, they find whoever puts it, and because they say it leads to fornication, it leads to some sexual fantasy and all that. Now, all this still comes back to the Bible and to the belief of Sharia. You don't incite a man. Image that incites people should not be seen. So female driving puts the woman in the public. Female driving puts that woman out there, and she shouldn't have that confrontation. She shouldn't be out there in that space.
But Mark, somebody has said that if the husband has gone to work there is a car in the house and the mother is in the house and the child falls ill in a country where our ambulance system is nothing to write home about, what will the mother do? Start looking at the child dying when the husband was not at home and the child was dying? What should a woman now, a mother now do in that, in a such a circumstance that she knows how to drive?
Call a male driver.
Where do you just call a male driver?
They just allowed Saudi Arabia women. Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
2 years ago. They just allowed 2 years ago, not 10 years ago, 2. So all these 100 of years, it wasn't allowed. Now they've just allowed the Saudi female gender to start driving and learn driving. Now the reason they say is also driving is a delicate thing. When a woman is open to that activity, it's dangerous. That's what some of the instruction says. But we all know that it's all just stories. They don't want the woman to be outside because I think let's just be straight to the point. I think the average Arab man probably has a very high sexual drive or something. So mere sight of a woman probably stimulates him. I don't know why they want the women to be on the background. Take note also that
okay,
we have
all right. Let's just leave it like that, and let's go to other issues. We'll go on a short break. When we come, we'll be talking about the massacre in Jos and the tradition of the tradition and culture in Plato that has led to tit-tat affair. Don't go away. We'll be right back after these promos. Thank you for watching News Echo. We want to talk some serious issues concerning the security in Nigeria and the issue of the Plateau massacre, where some murderers entered a coach and killed, shot down 20 persons, maimed no greater number of Nigerians, and of course there were reprisals, and it's led to serious discussion crossing the borders of states between Plateau and Ondo states. We understand many Kare families were in that coach, and many of them killed. And Akeredolu, the governor of Ondo State, has been shouting there should be no reprisal. Let the law take its place. But we are hearing at the same time the federal government of Nigeria was releasing 200 of Boko Haram and giving them amnesty. And so these conflicting issues, arrest them, release them, is gone haywire within the discourse of Nigeria. But let our in-house researcher, Ambassador Nata, give us a real rundown of what happened. Ambassador Nat, what really happened on Plateau that has led to interstate massacre?
Okay, thank you very much. It's almost getting to 2 Saturdays now. There was a bus traveling from Bauchi, passing through Plateau State, especially Jos, on its way to Ondo State. And we understand that that bus was carrying passengers who came from Ondo State to Bauchi State to attend an Islamic event. Is on their way back to Ondo that this incident of 20 killed, so many injured took place in Plateau State, especially in Jos. And when we
What
talk
was
of
their
Jos,
motive? What was their motive?
of
Killing
them, the motive is not yet known. But what is being inferred is like it was like a revenge, a reprisal attack. Because if you are traveling from Bauchi and you are going to Ondo State, when you are talking of passing through Jos, you are talking of passing through 3 local governments. There is Jos North, there is Jos South, and then the Rukuba area. So it was during this transit that this issue of people being killed, massacred, and injured occurred. And in the plateau also, what has been going on is an ongoing thing. It didn't start with that massacre of people in the bus. And you know that in Plateau State alone has more than 250 ethnic groups, although predominantly Plateau State, even Jos, is a Christian area. They have more Christians than the Muslims. Then this issue of the Rukuba youth, have become an epicenter where attacks are being made on those particular group of people around Rukuba. And the government seems not to be doing anything. There are nobody is ensuring that justice is done. Nobody is ensuring that it wouldn't happen again. And so the extension to this killing of people in the past created an avenue for crisis or killings within Jos town itself. That is now between the residents of Jos. And as we speak, there were attacks this morning where 7 people were killed within that area where these other 14 were killed. And so the governor of Ondo State, because these people came from Ondo State to go to Bauchi and return, the governor is saying that there should be no reprisal attacks in Ondo State, because if those people went to Bauchi and coming back were attacked, definitely they have relations in
Ondo State.
In Ondo State. And then there are some gray areas where you are not even too sure. Those people who left Ondo State to Bauchi State and going back, what is their religious dispensation? What is their ethnic identification? And so some of these things easily could spark out a crisis. So that is where we are today. The federal government has sent a special team. The IG has sent a special team. But the problem also is that in the past, these law enforcement agents go and pick the wrong people.
Yes, the government said they've arrested 8 persons. How far is that correct? And then, like you said, they may be wrong people who they must release very soon.
Well, I think it's 23 people that were arrested. If we put together the numbers since past 1 week, it's 23 people that have been arrested.
23 people so far, but
yeah, so far.
they are yet to be charged in the court.
No, we have not had that.
Okay, let me ask Mark in Milan. Mark, some people have said even if they caught them, try them guilty, they will soon be released and integrated into the army, into the civil service, into the community, only to recommit. Mark, how do you respond to that?
We know how things play out, Dr. Shagun. We know how things play out in Nigeria. It's that's the great honorable ambassador has given the good insight, and that's what it is. We are from a place where laws are not really followed, instructions and ways of doing things are not really followed. So people will commit crime and they get away with it, and because somebody somewhere knows them, somebody somewhere facilitates their crime. So he doesn't want them to be penalized, doesn't want them to really suffer. So he frees them at a point, and the story goes on and on and on and on. So this is it, Dr. Shagun.
Yeah,
it is.
It's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this vicious circle. And Nat, please bring us up to date in the insecurity in Nigeria, which is actually ruining this country after everybody had believed that Buhari was coming to bring insecurity to an end. Unfortunately, it has escalated more than any other regime in Nigeria. Well, what has happened in the last 7 days, Nat?
Well, the Boko Haram is still ravaging most part of Borno State, especially Borno North, where they are still in control of 10 local governments.
They have formed their own country there.
Yeah, a caliphate where they are running as they would like, the Taliban would like it done in Afghanistan. In the northwest geopolitical zone, on Sunday, the College of Agriculture and Forestry in Bakura is in Zamfara State. The bandits attacked that school and took away 20 students, 2 staff, and their families.
Just this last Friday.
Yes. It's even Sunday. Today is Wednesday. This thing happened Sunday morning in Zamfara State. I think the bandits have mentioned a ransom of 500 million naira to get get those people released. And then in the middle belt, the southern Kaduna killings continue. Southern Kaduna, Kagoro, Kafanchan, Kwai, Chikun, part of Kaduna metropolis.
Please southern. Help me. I understand the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, has closed down all schools now because of lack of security. Is that correct?
I don't have that information.
I have it on my table that all schools are closed and not to be reopened because of lack of security.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
And we remember.
Let me just check that with the SSM.
Yes, sir.
Schengen.
Yes, the plan is ongoing. It has not been executed, but that's the proposal, and I think some schools are beginning to follow up also. But Dr. Shagun, you know that's logical. We were saying some time ago that it is crazy that they still allow schools to go on and still allow students to go back to the dens of kidnap. Yeah. So this should have been done long ago. And last time also, our Honorable Minister of Education was in the UK on a seminar. I wonder if that seminar was on how to bring education to students even when they are not in the physical classroom. So it's a way forward. We hope
talking
they have.
talking about that global summit. Our president has not returned. Oh yeah, he just returned to Nigeria, isn't he?
Yes, he has returned.
Is it true that he visited Tinubu as against protocols, or Tinubu visited him?
Okay. Yes. Well, we don't know, but there is a visiting that happened.
Yes.
A meeting
I think when we did our research, we discovered that President Buhari visited aspiring President Tinubu in London, and Tinubu was very happy and gracious for that visit. But we felt that that was most like on protocol. How could the president go and visit a citizen, even though a leader citizen? Yet that would have broken all protocols, especially for security and other issues. But it appears that happened. But let's ask Nat, what have you discovered concerning that issue?
Well, I want to believe the real thing which we are not being told. In a situation, a life situation where it is the president visiting a private citizen, then something terribly wrong with that person, especially Buhari visiting. The Buhari we know, no matter what happens, whether in Nigeria or outside, will not leave his residence to visit an individual, no matter how close.
So you are trying to say that Tinubu was not in a position to walk out into another man's house because of his legs. Everybody knew that Tinubu was using a crutch. That's well known. Are you trying to say that that must have necessitated the president to go and visit him in his own house in London?
Exactly, because the Tinubu supporters are not happy that they showed Tinubu using crutches or walking stick, because it opens up so many things. As I said before, he must be critically ill that he cannot leave his house to go and visit the president. Nobody is even talking about that. That is the scenario.
Yeah, but with the picture I saw, he was laughing and looked okay. I said the picture I saw, it appeared that it's okay, but I bought your analysis that it would be difficult for a president to go and visit a private citizen at home, except that private citizen could not work. Mark, are you thinking the same thing?
Yes,
and again, sorry to interrupt, just a quick one. And the other thing is that some of these photographs that are popping up are not 2021 or July or August photographs.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so they were just spinning the whole issue. Yes, Mark, you are thinking the same thing, weren't you?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Honorable Ambassador Nat. They brought up so many photographs, old photograph of the two men, but the real one was the one you have them standing with some glass by their side. That one is authentic. Let's also have it in mind that they are both outside the territory where you follow protocols. They being in the UK is an open, friendly atmosphere, so they can obviously break protocols, and the president can say, "Let me see my friend in his house." So talking of protocol, most times protocol work when you are in that confined location where your authority and everything stands. But we're here in Europe. Most of our officials don't follow any protocol. They hang out in beer parlor. They do whatever they want to do because.
Okay, Mark, I've heard you. I mean, protocols may not necessarily operate when you are outside of the country. But
Yes.
what if the president is trying to make a statement? Look at the person that is aspiring to be president in 2023. He cannot even walk out of his house. I have to go and visit him. Is this the person you want to make the president come 2023? What if that is the statement he's making? Yes.
Such
I mean, the reason why I'm saying this is that
let Ambassador Nat answer that. That's a funny one.
no, Mark, wait a minute. The reason why I'm saying this is because notable PDP leaders like Chief Bode George have said that Tinubu will not become the president come 2023. And the aspirant Tinubu could not even walk and go and visit his own president outside of Nigeria because of ill health. I think that is the message that the rest of Nigerians are being told.
Yes, and Chief Bode George is joining us soon. So we will hear from him on what is the mental health state of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and because he really seeing a president aspirant working with clutches, moving very slow, and it says a lot. I mean, nobody wants to put a president that will die in office. So,
but we've done that many times. Like you saw Yaradua. Not that I'm deriding him, far from it. But Nigerians are used to voting for people whose health they have not checked, and they have spent a lot of Nigerian money without even telling us how much they have spent. An example is President Buhari, who has been coming to and fro and flying on our money, and we are not told how much. We will have loved to know how much of our money is spending. I'm packing the aeroplane here in London without any remorse, even for months at times. But Nat, was President Buhari trying to make a statement that Bola Tinubu will not become the president because of his illness? The president of Nigeria, had to go and visit him. He could not walk. Is that a message was that a message he was passing, and Nigerians should hear clearly?
No, as I said before, let us even assume, it's still an assumption that President Buhari will go and visit Tinubu, but the Buhari will know. We are not narrowing it down or zeroing it down to the person called Buhari. Forget about the presidency. If such a thing really happened, Buhari was trying to make political capital out of that visit. Because what I had saw the presidency not talking about is how kind, how considerate Buhari is, but that is not true. If he is stepping out of his house to visit, even if Osinbajo is in London, definitely is in Buhari's own interest that is doing that, and best known to him.
Okay. I'm just looking at the time, and I know that we're going on a short break. We have two main political parties in Nigeria, the PDP and the APC, that is ruling, and both of them are in serious party crises. We want to analyze these two political parties and look at the crisis, and even when both of them have no ideology, have coagulated to be one party, whether they will be able to carry Nigeria to the next level that Nigerians will want. We want to do analysis on the PDP and the APC crisis. Don't go away. We'll be going for a short break. When we return, listen to party issues in Nigeria. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back to News Echoes. We've been trying to bring you analysis from home and abroad, and political parties happen to be the basis of driving democracy in any country. Nigeria has come to evolve with two major political parties, the PDP and the APC. But where the two vehicles have problems, especially with their vehicular machinery, I'm talking of moving forward, then what will happen? We want to start with the PDP. It looks as if their leader, Secondos, has survived a major political crisis. He was to be removed by Wike and co, but we were told that Atiku and co made him to survive. In the meantime, the PDP has not measured up to standard in being a critical analyst of the ruling party, APC. Therefore, Nigeria has been like a one-party state in the last 6 years of Buhari's regime. Of course, the Buhari regime ensured that the PDP was decimated by the various corruption charges, and most of the leaders either in jail, released from jail, or there's material seized. So this has led to the depletion of the PDP. Many of the alleged perpetrators running straight into the arms of Oshiomhole while he was the chairman, and still running into APC to beg for a place. Cross River State governor was one of those who defected, and we also have another governor in the southeast, and many more to come, they have said. So that the PDP has been depleted and yet has no alternative measures to APC. But let's listen to our in-house researcher. What has become of PDP as a driving political force in the Nigerian politics? Nat.
Well, if we start with a historical perspective, PDP had been around, let's say, since 1997 or 98. They came into government 1999 with Obasanjo. Their initial plan was to stay in government as long as they wanted, but they were only able to carry on for 16 years, and then the bubble burst. There were a lot of defections from PDP to APC, and then APC to PDP. So historically, PDP has been around for some time longer than the APC. They have something on ground to show for it, and it's still, whether people like it or not, is still a formidable force if they can only get their acts together. What is tearing the PDP apart now is the approach to 2023, where there will be elections for presidential candidates, National Assembly, state government, and even local, no, not local government. So the chairmanship and the National Working Committee of PDP, they normally give them 4 years. And this 4 years is supposed to end in December 2021. But from the events of late, it might end in October, because the agitators who want Wike not to finish its first term and to apply for a second term are insisting that Wike must go before December 2021.
And so, what role did Atiku play?
Well, Atiku, you know that there are so many conspiracy theories. Depending upon whom you are hearing from. The Atiku factor will go back to 2019, when he was a presidential candidate for PDP. And initially, before the National Convention in 2019, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. Sorry for this disturbance. It wasn't the article was not in the picture. Wike was sponsoring. Wike was sponsoring the governor of Sokoto State, the former Speaker House of Reps, Tamboa. But
yes,
on the convention ground, it looks like Tamboa lost that support, and Atiku had to come in. And I know that since then, PDP has not been the same family we hear about.
okay. Let me ask
So,
Mark Milan.
hello? Okay.
Mark, yeah, let me just go to Italy so that I'm sure that London will spare us that noise. Mark, what's your take as a political analyst, and the role of PDP has not been able to put the APC on their toes so that they will do the best for Nigeria? A political party in opposition should be bringing critical analysis of the position, the policy position of the ruling party. They're supposed to be bringing alternatives that should push the government to do greater things. But PDP, many people have said they have not done so. What was your take on that?
Sorry for that. Yeah, somehow, but I think also Chief, our honorable guest is in the house, so we'll probably make that space also. Somehow, we are not seeing real politics in that sense. Excuse me, please.